Welcome, everybody. My name is Mina Jane. I'm the director of the Ashland Public Library in Massachusetts, and I am always happy to be here with Lorelei of Lorelei's Lit Lair, and we've done this, what, 5 or 6 times now, where we just talk about,
I think. Hopefully.
yeah, recommendate book recommendations, things we've been reading, things we've been enjoying, things we're looking forward to. So before we get to our chat, I just wanted to say a quick thanks to the Friends of the Ashland Public Library for supporting all of our programs, as well as to Lorelei for letting us share this program with other libraries because I just love working with other libraries. I feel like it's how the world should be when you just share. And because we all are romance readers and lovers, having this moment in time where we can just sit back and relax and enjoy with each other is really lovely. I am recording. I'll send out a link to everybody after our talk. I will also send out a list of all the books that we talk about, including what comes up in the chat. So please feel free to let us know what you're reading, enjoying, or looking forward to in the chat, and I will include it in my follow-up email. Lorelei, as you know, is the founder of Lorelei Lit Lair. She's actually come up with a new program called no, what is it called? Bookspace. Bookspace. And it's for readers and authors, and it's going to be fabulous because Lorelei is fabulous. So a lot's going on for you, Lorelei. Let's talk about that first. What's going on for you that I know about or may not know about?
Oh, well, I am just super thrilled. I mean, who cannot be? I mean, could you? I never thought in a million years that I'd be doing what I'm doing today, which is talking romance with everyone. And it has been so exciting. I've been meeting authors, sharing them with members of the club, of the Let's Talk Romance book club. And yeah, it's been exciting. How about for you? Oh my gosh. Tell me about your most recent event, I think with,
It was with Loretta Chase and Carolyn Linden. We celebrated Loretta's book birthday of An Inconvenient Duke, which was the third in the Difficult Dukes trilogy, and also the 30th anniversary of oh my God, the Scoundrel,
oh, the Lord of Scoundrels.
Lord of Scoundrels. And we just had a great time. We talked about books, we talked about writing, and we also had tea, which was lovely. So we missed you, Laurel. I wish you could have been there.
Well, if you can't, how do you say if the mountain can't come to you, you come to the. I don't know. I want to make something happen. I mean, I don't know how much I love Loretta Chase's work. So, yes, and I have her on my list here. You can't see her yet, but bringing her up. But yes, that was fascinating. Well, for me, what's exciting is that one of my favorite authors, who I discovered I think it was 12 years ago, who is Sonali Dave. Can I share the screen? I want to share the screen with everyone. I will be sharing some images of book covers and recommendations that I don't have on me, and so that you can see them on the screen. So I will start with, uh, let's see, we will go here to the first one. Huh. Can you see it? I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I can see it.
It's not sliding.
Oh, yes, that's true. It's not sliding.
It's not sliding. Let me.
Okay, tech issues, tech
Oh,
issues.
oh, it's okay. It went too fast. It went
Oh,
too fast.
okay.
Okay, there we go.
It's still in the first one, though. Is that where you wanted
Still
to
in
be?
the first one, this is where I wanted it. So,
Perfect.
there's something about Myra is a book that was just released on February 1st, which happened to be my birthday. What way to celebrate? But what has me so excited also is that I will be having Sonali Dave over at our club, Let's Talk Romance Books. So our members will be getting to, of course, they've read the book, hopefully, and if they didn't, that's okay. But we're gonna ask questions to Sonali and have a great time with her as always. I've met
Lorelai,
her.
one second, Lorelai. You're still on the initial slide of virtual gal pal Valentine's Day. Did you want to be on the something about mirror page?
Hold on. let me see, resume. Okay, sorry about that. I put pause. So this is the cover. There's something about Myra. And what it is, I'll just give you a brief synopsis. In this heartfelt story, Myra Salvi embarks on a journey to reunite a lost ring with its owner, prompting her to reevaluate her seemingly perfect life. Teaming up with a determined journalist, Myra discovers that her true happiness may still be waiting to be found. So
Oh,
I love this journey that she goes on. Her life
yeah.
seems perfect. All what can she, nothing else can be perfect, but she finds out through this journey. And I love it. It has a little bit of family, a little bit of everything, excitement, adventure, a little bit of everything.
So Lorelei, we were talking a little bit before we started about Sonali, particularly because is somebody who has just grown and grown in the romance and now women's fiction field. And if for people who are listening, let us know how you first heard about Sonali because I heard about her through Kristen Higgins and Susan Elizabeth Phillips. They were posting all about her, and I love that the romance community is so supportive of itself.
Yes, I fell in love. It was book at first, love at first page for me because it was a Bollywood affair.
Hmm.
The way I would describe her books, it was, I remember this, it was so unique in the sense that I hadn't read books with this kind of voice that is particular to her writing, that I was reading the first chapter. And I don't know if it's the type of reader that I am. I couldn't find that voice or how it was supposed to be because I'm a visual reader. And
Hmm.
there was something unique. Her writing is very rich and deep and lyrical, and very passionate too. So I had to restart. I had to start again. And I found the flow and then I fell in love.
Hmm.
So loved it.
And I think if you ever hear Sonali speak, you can hear that voice
Yeah.
because she's so, like you said, lyrical and passionate about what she does, and she's so smart. So yeah, I definitely think I recommend her to everybody as well.
Yes. Well, a question because I just finished reading this one and I have on my queue to read next because it just released. But before I show, share about you, what something that you've been reading.
Me? Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Well, most people here, well, if anybody knows me, they know that I love, love, love Nalini Singh, another author who spoke about Sonali a lot when she first came out. So I just read an arc of Nalini's next book called Archangel's Ascension, and it is probably one of her best books in the sense of she's so great at world building, and this really brings she's ending this series, so like there's one more book in the series, but this really ties up so many things in such a Nalini way. And I'm actually hosting her for a virtual talk in May, so we're going to talk all about spoilers. So I cannot wait. I'm super thrilled.
That's amazing. Well, on my queue, I have a tropical rebel get
Hmm.
gets the Duke, and this is by Adriana Herrera. So I have been curious. I've had her on my list, so she's on cue, ready to listen. And another book that I'm already listening to, which I'm loving the banter. This is Grumpy. She's the Grumpy. He's the Sunshine. It's on a trip. I will briefly read. Okay, it says Alice is ready for a fresh start. So she impulsively books a literary bus tour in the UK, only to find herself stuck with a lively group of elderly ladies and a frustratingly handsome Scottish driver. As she navigates unexpected adventures and hilarious mishaps, Alice realizes that maybe her plans and her heart need a little more flexibility than she thought. She had uh, just had a recent breakup, lost her job, she's in the pits, and she does this impulsively. But the banter, the wit, I'm loving it. So,
I will read any book that has a man in a kilt on the cover, so I'm a fan.
yes. And look at the bus and the castle. If you see, I love books, covers that when you read the book, it appears on the cover. So I love that.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Charlene and I are like this.
and I just finished listening to an advanced copy of Promise Me Sunshine. And I will tell you, this is such a great story for it's about grief, loss, healing, and I will share. After losing her best friend, Lenny is completely adrift until she meets the grumpy but insightful Miles, who offers to help her tackle her live again list in exchange for helps with his niece. As they bond over late night adventures and shared grief, Lenny begins to discover that moving forward might be possible after all, even if it feels impossible at first.
Mm.
But I will tell you, even though it's about grief and loss and healing, and I just love this character. Um, Lenny, she is such a personality. And I don't know if it's because I listened to the narrator that narrator did it. She's like it feels like you're listening to a movie. That's how great the narrator is. And
Wow.
I pick who it is, but when it comes out, and I'm also having the pleasure of having her visit our club. So I can't wait for everyone to read it and meet her.
Lorelai, do you prefer to read books, like physical books or listening to them?
I nowadays I have to listen because my time is a little bit more, how do you say, on the narrow because I have more responsibilities. I'm running Bookspace, I have the club and the website. And so listening to me, also, I'm good with audio.
Mhm.
And also, it also depends on the narrator too. Some narrators, with everyone, I say this, some will click and some will not. Doesn't mean that I won't like the book. So if I can't listen, if it doesn't click, I will read the book.
Mhm.
My own voice takes shape and it plays like a movie.
Mhm.
So, how about you?
So I'm glad you asked because I cannot listen to audio like fresh. I only listen to books I've already read because I need to read them first and then I can listen to them for uh the show of it. Like the
The,
entertainment value because I already know the story, so I just want to, like I enjoy the narrator telling the from their voice. But also, if you daydream or something like that, which happens to me quite a bit, I haven't missed anything because I know the story.
yes. Well, sometimes this audiobook was so good that I wanted to listen and I was up till late at night and I didn't. So sometimes when I listen to an audiobook, I'll do mundane things like either fold the laundry, do that. But sometimes I'll find myself just sitting there listening to the story, I'm like, oh, okay, I got to fold or I got to do dishes or, things
Yeah.
like that. So I really feel, and now I've learned to bookmark,
Hmm.
in the
In an
audio.
audiobook. I didn't know you could do that.
Yes.
So, just for people listening, let us know what your preference is, physical book or audiobook, or like me, listening to books you've already read. And you also, I just want to make sure you all know that you can get obviously physical books from a library, but you can, and ebooks from a library, but you can also get audiobooks from a library. And I use our library resources all the time to get books for free.
Yeah.
So, oh, lots of physicals.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Same.
know what it is about the physical that I just love holding it.
Hmm.
I love looking at the pages, but sometimes because if it's at nighttime or because of vision, I'm at that point in my life where, so sometimes the physical can't. It just has to be the right lighting.
Yeah.
But I will be often listening to, or Alexa will be reading to me a
Hmm.
physical book if I can't find the audio, or I'll have the digital, or I'll go with the physical.
I did
Yeah.
not, you could do that.
Yeah.
Well, so my eyes are really bad, so I don't read paperbacks at all anymore. So I'm almost 100% ebook when I do read because I can change the font. And also, the last time I read a hardcover book in bed, it fell on my face, and Hurt. So ebooks are for me.
Well, I know. Well, I've seen those for those Kindles that you can put that thing up, like a little arm thingy. But no, if my head gets tired and I'm sleepy, that means it's time for bed.
Hmm.
Anyway, love this book. I can't wait for it. So one of the to begin with books about Valentines. This is one that I don't have, but I had the pleasure of meeting Cheryl Woods last week over at Writerspace that we did a interview, and oh my gosh, just lovely. So, Sweet Magnolias is a story about three friends in a town, and I love how they support each other going through the struggles and everything, how they're there for them. And of course, it's now a Netflix series, which season 4 just released. But a brief synopsis of what a book one is, Stealing Home. It says Maddie Townsend's life gets turned upside down when her husband leaves her for a younger woman, leaving her to juggle her heartbroken children and new fitness spa project for her friends. So that's a project that they have that she didn't know. So just when things seem overwhelming, she unexpectedly falls for the charming baseball coach, Cal. But their budding romance faces challenges from small town gossip that could jeopardize everything. So the friends are Stealing Home is book one. That is Maddie's story. And then A Slice of Heaven, which is book two. That's Dana Sue. And the third book, Feels Like Family, is Helen Decanter's story. So
Okay.
these ladies are there for each other, like thick and thin, and each through their challenges and struggles, they help each other.
Mhm.
So I think that's a great one.
Did you see the show?
I saw the first season
Hmm.
and I really loved, that's the first season that I saw was this book. So,
Okay.
but I love the friendship. You could feel the struggles that each one have, and how supportive they are for each other. And I could feel the small town gossip
Hmm.
and how their kids and the family, you know, um, yeah, it's really good.
I'll have to check that out because, and people in the audience can certainly pipe in on this because we all know that like books to TV or movie doesn't always translate all that well. I mean, think of those old 80s, 90s Nora Roberts movies. Oh, oh. But
Yeah.
I was obsessed with the Virgin River series books. And when they did this series on TV, I was like, it was great if you like were able to like forget the books.
I think, and I also met Robin. I did an interview over there over at Writer Space, and what I can say, and when we asked her, how's the difference between having a physical, having the books published and now a new platform with the Netflix series, and she said her fans are tough, like they don't like change sometimes, some of them. But I think if someone watches the series, she said she got a lot of new readers
Yes.
because of the series. So I think if you watch the series and then you read the books, I think you would be okay, but not the other way around because I think it doesn't translate,
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
I agree. I mean, I think a lot of shows are like that, but I think that one particularly sticks out of my head because the books were so atmospheric about the community and the ties and things like that. And I felt like the show did an okay job, but and it of course changed things around, which was difficult because I was like, but that's book 6 and this is season 2.
Well, and also, I was listening to the audiobook of this, but because of timing, I went and I watched the series. And from what I heard, it was very similar to the season one.
Oh, okay.
I will stop the screen because now I have the physical books that I can. Um, okay, well, let me know what people say because it's still like a long chat, but I love this. I love this.
Yeah, I know
Um,
people have all kinds of great things to say.
yes, yes. And hi, Madeline, Charlene. I can't see. Oh, Lisa is there.
Hmm.
Oh boy. Abigail. Hi, hi. Connie. Okay. that I have here is Loretta Chase's A Duke in Shining Armor.
Hmm.
As I remember in this series, there are three friends.
Hmm.
And what I love about this book, about the series, is that it all happens at the same time. I forgot because it had been a long time since this one was published, and then book two, and then book three. So this story, it's all from their perspective at the same time. So it's almost like if you don't have to read it in order. I don't know. What did Loretta say? Because I know how readers are. This is how I have to read in order.
Yes, and I think you're talking to the wrong person because I read everything in order, and I haven't read the third book yet. But
Yeah.
um, I think if you read it out of order, it's a little confusing. To me, it has because I did start reading the third book a little bit because I wanted to be aware of what was going to be talked about, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why are like who are the friends? Are they parents? Are they? It was a little confusing. So
Yes.
then I went back and started reading from the beginning and made much more sense.
Well, a little synopsis of A Duke in Shining Armor. It's Hugh, the Duke of Ripley, isn't exactly a paragon of virtue, but he's determined to return his best friend's bride, Lady Olympia, after she makes a run for it. As he chases her down, he finds himself caught between doing the right thing and being irresistibly drawn to the spirited, bookish woman who's making his mission unexpectedly complicated. Love
Mhm.
that.
You
Um,
know, you know what
so
I loved about her book, this series though, is like normally she does a lot of like female friendships, like the dressmaker series and things like that. But this was like these three guys who were just so ridiculously crazy
yes,
and and they got each other and they cared about you. It was just great. It was just great.
yes. So you can't go wrong with this one.
You can never go wrong with the
You can
Loretta series.
never go wrong. And about these dukes, right? Or are they all dukes? I can't remember now.
You're all dukes.
Dukes. Well, from dukes, let's go to modern day heroes, which is the Bromance Book Club. I mean, you can't.
I've loved this series. I love it so much. And Charlene just said that the Dukes were funny. They were bromance. So this is the perfect next book.
Yes, that's why I had it this way. The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. Nashville baseball star Gavin Scott's marriage hits rock bottom when he discovers his wife Thea has faked something, leading her to ask for a divorce.
Mm.
Desperate to salvage their relationship, Gavin turns to a secret romance book club of alpha men who guide him through the lessons of love using their latest read. But he soon realizes that winning back Thea will require more than just romantic cliche. These guys read romance novels to win their women back. Like, how can't go wrong with that?
But the thing I loved about this, Lorelai, and people can certainly chime in about this as well, is that it showed that romance books weren't just fluff. Like they were reading, they were diving deep into like what were the tropes and what would work for them. And I just found that fascinating because so many people do think romance is just junk, and it's just not.
No, I will say having been into the romance world just, I say recently, like in 2007, I find it as case studies, as how these two characters will overcome their struggles and find a happy ending or a happy for now or a solution to
Hmm.
all of their different types of problems, you
Hmm.
know? And
Right.
so I love that about romance. I think that's why I've stuck to romance,
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
know?
because people do have difficulties throughout the book. The happily ever after, like we've had my romance book club and I have had this discussion a lot. I feel like it has to be a true, they're going to be together forever. And some of my romance book club members are like, oh no, they just have to be happy for now. No, I'm like not like that. But if a romance is written well, which I think the Romance Book Club is, then for me, like they deal with all of the major issues that they're dealing with in that moment, like in that moment of the story.
Yeah.
More issues will come up, of course, during
Yeah.
time, but that's the beauty, I think, of romance is it's not light and fluffy all the time. It's very much like real life.
No, these are about people. These are
Hmm.
about couples, you know? Even if they're aliens, like the paranormal. It's about love, you know, and how you overcome the dark side
Hmm.
and come out together. But no, I love romances.
Yeah.
And yes, to Abigail, absolutely love the genre, is respected in these books and celebrated.
Yeah. So I was gonna say one of my favorite alien books is Strangelove by Anne Aguirre. Have you ever met her? She's a
No,
hoot. So in Strangelove, you know, it's an alien and a human, and they have different sexual organs. So they have to figure out how they're gonna get to, you know, which I think is also a hoot because, you know, that is just another aspect of trying to figure each other out and they all make it work. It's just beautiful and it's a really, really funny book.
awesome. I'll have to check it out when I'm in the mood to explore a different genre, you know,
Absolutely.
a different subgenre.
Hmm.
Another one that I have here is The Boyfriend Project.
Oh, oh,
Okay,
Rashawn, I love her.
dude. Um, yes, The Boyfriend Project. After a disastrous date goes viral, Samaya Brooks discovers she's been catfished by her three-timing boyfriend, leading her to form an unexpected friendship with his other girlfriends. That together they vow to focus on self-improvement for 6 months, no man allowed. But when Samaya meets the irresistibly charming Daniel at work, she must decide if he's truly the real deal or just another potential heartache. Loved the series. Loved the friendships with the three um, girlfriends who are now girlfriends. So this is a definite. I love this one.
This was the book that I loved it from the very first chapter. It
Yeah.
was funny. It was,
On that first page.
yeah, oh yeah, exactly. Just how does that go viral and what's going on and how do they, connect? But I also really liked that, they sort of like found somebody else once they decided they didn't need somebody else. They didn't want somebody else. They just wanted to like be friends. And I
Yes.
liked that.
Yes. And how to be tricked by this three-timing guy. You know? Like,
Oh.
hey.
Also, what is that? A cautionary tale.
Yeah. Well, another one that I really loved, and this one to me was hilarious, and it's about it's called To Have and to Heist by
Mm.
Sarah Desai. And this one says, Simi Chopra's life is spiraling when her best friend is accused of stealing a priceless diamond necklace. She works as a curator at a museum. Desperate to prove her friend's innocence, she teams up with the enigmatic Jack, who proposes a daring heist during a high-profile wedding. As Simi assembles a quirky crew to pull off the scheme, she navigates unexpected secrets, a charming detective, and the surprising way Jack captures her heart amidst the chaos. So the crew, they are hilarious. They become friends. You have an octogenarian who, yeah, I was laughing so hard. This one. And her best friend is like this. They are like best like gal pals,
Oh.
100%. And then they meet this whole community of, the crew, and all of them become friends in
Mhm.
a way. So, and they're all have their own personalities. So definitely enjoyed this one.
It sounds like that movie, Ocean's 13. Is it the one with the women?
Yes.
I love that movie.
Yes, yes, yes. Very similar. Okay, I think I'm going to share the screen again. Hold on. Okay. And I hope it works again.
It's working.
Okay, so this was okay.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was the last one that I showed,
Mhm.
but this one, let's go back in time with
Uh,
Rachel Gibson. This is an oldie hockey romance, The Trouble with Valentine's Day. And it's one of the few that I found that happens during Valentine's Day. So in Gospel, Idaho, Kate Hamilton is having the worst Valentine's Day ever. Dumped, burnt out, and facing rejection from a hunky stranger named Rob Sutter. As a former hockey player with his own romantic scars, Rob is not interested in love. But when they find themselves in a compromising situation at the local market, their unexpected connection ignites a whirlwind of gossip and challenges both of them to reconsider what they truly want. So this one, it begins with the heartbreak on Valentine's Day. And that's all I'm going to say unless you read it. So you'll know.
I will say that Rachel Gibson was uh, probably one of my first like sports romance writers, and I just loved her. I thought she was, I don't know if she's still writing, but she was so funny. And the hockey players, I
Yes.
don't watch what hockey, I don't know anything about them, but I was like, these fucking guys are just great.
My favorite of hers was C. James Score. Again, it was the first book of hers that I read. I don't know what is it with the first book of an author that I read is the one that does it for me. And then I become, obsessed
Hmm.
with it. So the next one, and this is a recommendation from my ladies in the group. You know who you are, Charlene anymore. This is Neanderthal Seeks Human by Penny Reed. Now, this is part of it's a Knitting in the City series, and there are Janie, Elizabeth, Sandra, Ashley, Fiona, Marie, and Kat. They each have their stories and they get together and they knit and they help each other along the way. So in Neanderthal Seeks Human, Janie Morris has a knack for oversharing, especially when she's flustered and no one makes her more nervous than the irresistibly charming Quinn Sullivan. After a disastrous day that leaves her without a boyfriend, apartment, or job, Janie's life takes another turn when Quinn offers her an unexpected opportunity. So that kicks off the series, and with all these friends, that each book will then tell their story.
Hmm.
This was a recommendation. I have book one on my TBR pile, so if you have it, it's a good time to take it out too.
I loved Penny Reed's Beard series. I don't know if anybody else wants to, but I find her, first of all, she's funny, and I love humor in my romance books. But also, she tackles some difficult topics. I mean, almost all of her character, not all of them, but like, in almost all of her books, somebody is on the spectrum or has some anxiety or some physical ailment, and she just is so sensitive about it. Like she just deals with these things so sensitively. I just love her.
Yes. Next, I have this is the Shoe Diaries by Darby Bayham. This is part of a series in the Friendship Chronicles. And friends are Reagan, Jennifer, Robin, and Olivia and Keisha. So there's five books. So
Mhm.
they're close friends. They get together, each one with their problems. And the first one, the Shoe Diary, she seems to have a perfect life in Washington, D.C., complete with her dream career and fabulous shoe collection. However, when one of her close friends falls ill, Ray decides it's time to take risks and revitalize her life. So she takes a risk list to push herself out of her comfort zone, but reconciling with her ex, Jake Saunders, may prove to be the biggest challenge of all. So that's her first book in the series.
Can I ask, how did you find this particular book? Because it's obviously a Harlequin special edition, and I didn't, like I don't I read Harlequins when I was younger, but I had kind of fallen out of it. But it sounds like you read sort of like all across the board.
Yes. And I found Debbie Barham because I met her through I interviewed her for when her first book released, or was it her second? This was the first book.
Hmm.
So since I was starting the club, she was one of my first author spotlights um, in the club. So I got to meet her. Introduced her to the group. So that's kind of what. And again, these talk about they're fun, they're best friends, but they also delve into um, difficult topics like illness, friendship, overcoming, relationships, and things like that.
Hmm. And
And
are all of her characters African American?
yes,
I love
yes.
I love it.
I wish I could share all the photos, all the covers, because I love covers. Another one that I have here is Curve for Days, and this is part of the what's the series name? Anybody in the group, can you help me with the name of the series? I forget, but this one, Rose Barnes is determined to build her dream home, but her grumpy contractor, Angus Drummond, struggles to find his growing attraction to her, struggles to hide his growing attraction to her. As their relationship shifts from antagonism to romance, a hidden secret threatens to unravel everything just as they find their footing together. The friendship part in this is that she um, wins the lottery. You know what happens when you win the lottery? Like all your friends show up. And but really she was never she really had how do you say struggled and nobody was her friend until this happened. So she leaves town
Hmm.
and this is where new friendships begin.
Hmm.
So I love the humor, I love the voice. Yes, I met the author too. We had her at the club. So this was one of the books. And the friends are Rose, she's Rose, and then we have July and Andy.
Hmm.
So it's three of their stories.
Hmm. It sounds a little bit like the Olivia Dade books, which I just really love as well. But my favorite book about somebody winning the lottery was a Linda Howard book. It
Oh,
was it was a woman. She won the lottery. She didn't tell anybody until she had it all set up with a lawyer, and just what happens with her life after that. Because winning the lottery isn't necessarily
yeah,
always a good thing. So I love it.
yes. This was another recommendation from one of my readers there.
Hmm.
Sweeter Than Chocolate by Lizzie Shane. Lucy Sweet runs a chocolate shop where Cupid chocolates are rumored to lead to true love. But she remains skeptical despite their success in creating romantic stories. When ambitious reporter Dean Chase is assigned to debunk the legend, he finds himself unexpectedly drawn to Lucy, challenging his beliefs about love and magic. So I believe this is more of a Valentine's Day rec for my readers in the group to see, but this was a recommendation. I also have When in Rome, which is another series by Sarah Adams. And these are two sisters, but also a friend. One's a star, Amelia Rose, exhausted from her pop star persona, escapes to Rome, Kentucky, only to find herself stranded at Noah Walker's pie shop. As Noah reluctantly helps her navigate small town life, they both discover unexpected connections that challenge their views on love and happiness. But Amelia eventually returns to her glamorous world. In this town, as she's in town hiding, of course, when you're successful, it's like you think you don't have friends and you try to hide. But in this small town, she does find friendship, and they're great.
Hmm. I love small town romances, even if it's in Rome.
And I think you're gonna love this one too.
Oh, of course I am.
I let go. Do I have to tell you about Jasmine and Soledad and Hendrix? I mean, this is one of the best friends, like a series with just amazing friends with, and in this story is where Jasmine and um, Josiah are struggling with their marriage. And she finds the support in, as you know, with all Kennedy Ryan's books, there's always something, very um, uh, deep and emotional,
Hmm.
right? And so her friends help her navigate this
Hmm.
as well as they do for each of their stories. So it's raw, it's real, it's magnificent, just like Colleen Hoover says there on the cover.
Yeah. Actually, Kennedy Ryan is probably to me like one of the most, gosh, what do you say, like risk-taking authors out there in romance because she just says it like it isn't and dives deep, deep
Yeah.
into really difficult issues. And then sometimes has these very lighthearted books, and you're like, where did that come from? Like I remember reading Hoops and thinking, I don't think I can ever read another Kennedy Ryan.
No,
But
no,
then,
it's yeah, you need tissues. Um, and also her books, and this was me before, like I couldn't read books that were steamy because I said, how red am I going to blush? Like how bad am I going to blush? And then before, had I had that mentality still that I don't read, books if there's love scenes in it. I like saying love scenes.
mhm,
Um, that I wouldn't read it. I wouldn't read the book and how much I would have lost
mhm,
if I would have stayed with that thought. So
mhm,
what I tell people is that if something makes you uncomfortable, just skip the page and keep reading because it's about the story, and the love,
mhm.
you know.
Yeah. And the things that people have to go through to get that
Yes.
so many people have to go through.
Yes,
Yeah.
to understand.
I think
And
her, I'm just really quickly, I'm pretty sure that her basketball series is becoming a TV show. Somebody
oh
could,
boy,
yeah.
I love that book, that series, Long Shot. That's
Long shot. Sorry. It's the
it was
Hoop series,
a
long
book
shot.
I read and that's it. I was a goner.
That was hard to read, though. It was really hard to read.
I said, how is she going to pull this off? That's the
Mhm.
first thing I said. And the first, how is she going to pull this off? There's
I,
no way I'm going to believe this.
it was
And I did.
such a good ending. Such a good ending.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, Virginia Heath, sorry.
Let's go to friendships now in historical romance. And these are, I think there are four ladies that that they become friends and all these, they have to marry. This one, Never Fall for Your Fiancé, Hugh Standish, Earl of Fareham, wants nothing to do with marriage, but when his mother's matchmaking threatens to his freedom, he concocts a fake fiancé in her um, to see if he can pull off the scheme. Enter Minerva, a struggling woodcut engraver who agrees to pose as Hugh's fiancée, leading to a whirlwind of misunderstanding and unexpected romance that challenges their truth and could turn a ruse into something real. I loved the polar opposites, how they made it happen, and then the friends um, that she gained during this adventure.
Mhm.
I'll say more.
I also really like that Virginia Heath has been writing for a long time and yet keeps it fresh
Yes,
every
love
week.
love the humor, love the romance, love it.
Mhm.
This is a recommendation, Passion on Park Avenue, and this is the Central Park Pact series. So these are determined to not make the same mistake again. These ladies, Naomi, Claire, and Audrey, they happen to date the same man,
Hmm.
only that they didn't know of others' existence until his funeral.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how their friendship begins. Determined not to make the same mistakes again, they make a pact to protect each other from the worst of the Manhattan dating scene, only to find that with the help of your friends, anything is possible, even happily ever after. The books, it said, that you don't need to read them in order, but it's highly recommended. And this is more of a closed door, PG-13 kind of read.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and then we have
Oh,
Lisa Kleypas out.
you're just pulling out all of my favorites today.
Oh my gosh, yes. So remember Secrets of the Summer, and then it was the autumn, and then it was, right, the winter,
Mhm.
and then the spring. And I'm going to stop sharing for a minute because I have one of her physical books. This is book two, and this is It Happened One Autumn.
Yep.
So, yeah, you can't go wrong with these three friends that,
I think there's four friends, but two of
four,
them are
four,
sisters.
four. Did I say three?
You said three, but two of them are
No,
sisters.
no, no, four. Yes. They're quirky. Yeah, it's four books. I think it's four books. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, four. The wildflowers. So yeah, because it's summer, winter, spring, and fall. One for
Hmm.
each one. But yeah, you can't go wrong. I love, love, love her series. And then yes,
All of her books are amazing. I love her older books because she always took on even like the summer one, she takes on the main character is a marquis, I think, but he also is an industrialist and he I mean it's just she just was the first one where it wasn't just like this lazy Duke and a beautiful debutante, you know?
yes, they're quirky. And yes, the Christmas one was a
Mhm.
brother from America. Yes. That's another one then?
Oh.
I think so. I think that may be another one. Anyway, or maybe not. We'll have to see. We'll have to look for them now. Another one that
Yeah, it's
this
a novella. No, it's a novella. That's true. I read
yes,
it so long ago. But
yes.
is she still writing? Like we were just talking about her the other day.
No, I hope she continues writing because I don't know. I hope I hope she does.
Isn't Lisa Kleypas the one that was Miss Massachusetts?
Oh, I don't know.
I think she was. So
Yes.
yes. She's gorgeous. I just hope that she's all right because I haven't seen a new book from her in a long time.
Yes, yes. And we have Jana McGregor, and
Mm.
it's almost on the similar line, but in a modern version where these after a shocking revelation, her late husband, her late husband's multiple marriages, Catherine Varek's business and royal ambitions are at risk, leaving her desperate to protect her reputation. So it turns out that her husband had three wives,
Hmm.
and they together have to um, navigate how one, I can't say because then I'd be giving it away. But anyway, these three gals, these three ladies, they find support in each other have, after finding out that they had the same husband. Because what do you do with the will?
What
You,
is going on here? Like this is the third book where you had like the same, they all went out with the same guy. They all,
yeah, either one is in the past or the boyfriend or, but this is how gals get together, I guess, in unexpected ways. So and another one that I love, which is the X Vows. And I know the X Vows. This is about Georgia and what's his name? Eli. They have a best friend, but they broke up and didn't tell the best friend because they want to be supportive during he's going to get married. So because they're his best friends, they don't want to make him feel bad, the friend. Now I forgot his name. And so they pretend that they are okay, that they can work together because everything that has to go right doesn't.
was
And
his name
so
Adam? Denise asks. I think his name.
Adam is the best friend,
Hmm.
and they're like this trio, like they're best friends forever.
Hmm.
These two got into a romance and then broke up, but didn't want to tell Adam because that was going to break their circle.
Hmm.
So they played nice. And then that's where second chances happen
Mhm.
in this story.
You know what I like about that too is I haven't actually read that book, but that the not sacrifice, but like the things that people will do for people they care about. They put their own needs and wants aside sometimes, and it ends up being good, but like it is really nice.
Yes, yes. And we have, yeah, the friendship club. Like, kind of says it. So these four ladies, they get together. Four women come together at a tumultuous time in their lives. They find themselves at crossroads, each navigating the challenges of dating, marriage, loneliness, and love. Thankfully, they have each other to lean on. The realities of modern love are far from easy, but there's no better group to have in your corner than friends who will lift you up no matter what and hold fast in the face of any storm.
Mhm.
Beautiful story about all these challenges and things. And I read it and I loved it. I mean, I've read anything, I think almost everything Robin Carr has written.
Mhm.
I think I may have one under my sleeve that I haven't read because I always like keeping one, like, like a treasure. So,
I was going to say that this whole concept of friendship, both male and female, like friend groups, it really is so much more realistic in than in past romances or like in historical back in the day, I'll say, where the happiness depended on the couple. They had to find their soulmate, they had to figure out stuff, and then their happiness was because of that other person. Whereas here, they can, even if they don't find the other, like it's a romance, so they're going to find somebody, but that they could survive without because they've got love in their life.
yes. And yeah, that's the beauty of it, you know. Another book that I have, and this is for those who love romantic suspense. This is
Oh.
a trilogy
Mhm.
by. So this is a trilogy, is the Lost Night Files series.
Mhm.
So when I heard this is a series, it's a trilogy. So I'm the one that likes to binge read or binge listen. So this is the first book, and it's about three women after a life-altering experience at the Lucent Springs Hotel, Palace or Payas, Palace, I don't know, and her newfound friends, Talia and Amelia, bond over their shared psychic abilities and co-host a podcast to investigate cold cases. I like that.
Mhm.
When Palace encounters Ambrose Drake, who believes he witnessed a murder linked to their mysterious past, the two team up to uncover the truth, strengthening their friendship while facing dangerous obstacles that threaten to silence them. So this is book one of the trilogy, and book three, I think, just came out or came out recently.
Mhm.
So I'm excited for that one.
We have a question about, do you have any recommendations for books with where friends are LGBTQ or gay men, straight women kind of thing?
Yes. And I asked one of my friends, and let me see if she responded.
I'm going to say The
Yes.
Boyfriend Project by Alexis Hall. It is the friendships are like they're just amazing. So if you haven't read Alexis Hall, he does such a great job with the friendships of all the characters, but the couple is gay. Um and then all of their friends are just so supportive and so fun, and it's a mixed group of men, women, and people on all that the LGBTQ spectrum. I love him. I love
Yes.
him.
Alex's Hall. And I will add some to the list when I give this to you.
Okay.
So we'll be sure to include that one as well. And then another one that we have, the last one that I remember one is this one. And this
Mhm.
was mentioned I asked in TikTok, I'm always asking, what was your second chance romance or, thing. So this one, which I read too, was also recommended, Happy Place. So these are, a group of friends, kind of similar into that they go to their friends' getaway and things happen, but they don't let anyone know that that they broke up, just to keep their friendships, from breaking that, taking sides.
Hmm.
So yes, love that one. And um and yeah, so oh my gosh, we still have 5 minutes to
Yes.
talk.
So I actually have a couple of questions for you. One is, what do you prefer to read? I mean, a lot of your books that you've recommended are contemporaries and some historicals. What do you prefer to read?
I prefer contemporary and historical romance because that's what appeals to me and to many of my readers. I have read paranormal. It just depends. And I am I do like romantic suspense. It just depends. And I was thinking about this. You know how people say, oh, do you just read, why don't you explore or read other things that you may not read to support other genres or, make recommendations? And I believe it's true, but you sometimes I think you have to be true to yourself of what you enjoy because imagine if we were all the same and that we only liked one thing, so then books would be only for a certain genre. But the beauty now is that there are genres written for everyone, and that I find is beautiful.
Mhm.
I'm the one that love is love is love, whether it's no matter the culture, no matter your identity, it's love. And what I may not be familiar with, others may be. And I think it's important to respect that and understand that, yeah, we're all different and we're all unique and we
Mhm.
should all be supportive of each other. You know, this may be a little bit just came to mind. And, we're in this life only once and then we pass, we expire. That's sometimes, how I feel. So while we are here, we should make the most out of our life and we should read what we love, identify with who we are, and respect others too. Because again, everybody deserves to be happy.
Mhm.
So instead of worrying or feeling how, about others or judging, let it be and be yourself and respect others because they also deserve happiness
Mhm.
no matter what. Just like you do, that's how it should be for everyone,
Mhm.
you know?
It's true. And I think that romance is the best, for me, the best genre for that because it does, it just hits every single nerve that I have, every single emotion, feeling, whatever. But yeah, I tend to read like paranormal or particular authors. So
Well, I started with paranormal. I started with Twilight, but what triggered me was the love story. And then it's like testing. It's like that, like Forrest Gump says, like that box of chocolate, you never know what you're gonna get, what you're going to love, what you're gonna identify. I love stories that have community, that talk about different people from different generations, different cultures, different neurodiverse. I'm neurodiverse. So, but I love learning more when I read stories from different cultures or from different lives
Mhm.
because it makes me grow as a person. So, so yes, my I'm sorry about the expiring, but I just thought of that today. We're here today. And instead of judging others, let's put the energy on positivity and loving, respecting others.
Absolutely. That's a perfect way to end tonight. We've had some amazing recommendations, but also an incredible variety and diversity of what you've done, of what you've recommended. And I would look forward to having the list, and I'll send it out to everybody with hopefully some of those additional topics. But also, like, I just really appreciate the time that you take to talk with me and with all of our all of your fans.
Other thing that I just wanted to say, because I like contemporary and because I like historical and because of what I like, find what you love. Find what you love reading. If it's contemporary, if it's paranormal, if it's go look for other people, for other influencers, other communities that
Mhm.
love what you love. But if you love contemporary, historical, romantic suspense, that kind of um, that's what I love for now. I continue to grow. I'm going to explore other genres too.
Well, like you said, if you love it, stick to it. You can always add on. So, thank you, Lorelei, and we'll see you again in June. And I will send that information to everybody. Thank you all for being here. I always enjoy these talks and seeing the chat and seeing how much fun you're having with each other as Lorelei and I talk on screen. So, have a wonderful night. Happy reading. I hope no books fall on your faces, and we'll see you again soon.
Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day.
That's
Enjoy, even with your pets.
Catatine's Day.
Stocking times, anything. Just go find love.
That's right.
Love yourself too.
Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.